Good afternoon, Raider Nation. I want to welcome you to Lady Raider Softball live on NFHS Network, powered by Play on Sports. My name is Brent Johnson. Along with me is Johnny Kabigteen and even Mr. Tate Taylor as we bring to you live Lady Raider Softball. This is the third game of the regular season. This is officially the fourth game. The third game was unofficial because of weather issues last week. That was postponed, the Jeff Davis game, until September the 9th. We'll give you more information on that later. But right now the task at hand is a doubleheader versus St. Vincents from Savannah. This is a Region 2 AA matchup. They've been playing doubleheaders now for the last couple of years due to just the distance having to drive. We'll go ahead and take care of these two region games today, and we won't have to play St. Vincent again, or at least we won't have to travel to Savannah, that is. But the Lady Raiders are currently 1-1 on the season, defeating Coffee County, a 5A school, in Douglas, and losing to AAA foe and rival Pierce County Lady Bears last week 4-3 late in that game. We'll be playing Pierce tomorrow at home, and if all goes well, we'll be broadcasting that game as well. We got a doubleheader today beginning at 4 or a few minutes after. The next game will follow 30 minutes after this one. The Lady Raiders up the lineup here because we're about to get started. I've had to get after school and get everything ready to go for this 4 o'clock early start time. I'll tell you what, let's just go ahead and get going. First and get the first pitch of the day, and it's going to be a fouled bunt. On the pitching mound today for the Lady Raiders is Sadie Adams. And another bunt. It's a good one. She's going to fire to first for the routine out. Nice play there by the first baseman and a shift over by the second baseman, Johnson. Go around the horn here. Catching is Hope Hobbs. Playing third today is Aniston Johnson, normally our starting shortstop. Kamari Strozier at short. Zoe Hodges is the designated player. Center fielder Santana Green. First base Skylar Clements. Second base Katie Johnson. I mentioned left field Olivia Screws. Right field Doodle Johnson. And the flex is Sadie Adams, and she is on the mound for the Lady Raiders today. I don't have an official lineup. The only thing they provided us was basically a roster here for St. Vincent's. I'll try to read their numbers as they come up to the plate and find their name. I want to welcome any and all Raider Nation watching today's game, and any and all that are tuning in from Savannah area or around the state. Swing and a miss by number 2. And number 2 was Hayden Eliota. Brings number 13 to the plate. And that's Kaylee Wheelis. 2 up, 2 down. This is one sport, and I'll tactfully talk about this, that the St. Vincent have typically struggled in our region. However, their lady soccer are state champions 2 or 3 out of the last couple years. Their golf team is very competitive. The tennis team is extremely competitive. They just haven't quite caught up in softball, and that's not to say they won't. But they have typically struggled these last since they've been in our region, that is. Now, however, this is one of the toughest regions in the state, if not the toughest, 1 through 4 or 5 teams in Region 2 AA. Again, an early 4 o'clock start. Warm out there for the ladies. It was already going to be hot at 6, but it's not as hot as it was. The heat index last week was around 104. I think it's around 100 today. Yes, 4 degrees makes a huge difference, even especially up here in the booth. Strike on that inside corner. Call strike 3. 3 up, 3 down for the Lady Raiders. We're going to take a quick break, but before I do, I got to mention our sponsors. Johnny's going to run through the little commercial there. I'll probably talk. Bear with us the next few days or few weeks, and we'll have those rocking and rolling for the softball and football season. I got to mention Mr. David Hand and his State Farm Insurance. Now, David is a native of Bacon County. His daughter is a starting pitch or a pitcher and a player for Bacon County High School. She's a senior this year. Gracie Hand, you'll hear me talk more about her athletically a little bit later. We want to thank David for jumping on board and being our title sponsor for the softball season. Again, thanking him for that. His office is in Waycross. However, again, he's a graduate of Bacon County High School and puts a lot of time, not just money, and effort into the softball program here at Bacon County Middle and High School. We are going to take now I'm going to try to take a quick break and catch my breath, and we'll be back in just a moment. All right, here we go. Leading off the bottom of the first is Aniston Johnson. Aniston seems like she's like a fifth or sixth year senior. She's finally a senior. And I hate to say finally because we hate to see her go. But she's got some bigger and better things ahead of her. Committed to play softball at Georgia Southern University and did so verbally as a sophomore, I believe. Ball inside. She fouls off. Quickly 0-2 the count. Number 25 is on the mound for, that is Haley Fuller for St. Vincent's. Lady Raiders will be the home team in Game 1. They'll be visitor in Game 2. Hoping we can pile on some runs here and get this game over quickly. This ball is lifted deep but out of play near the ticket booth, right out the door there, the gates. Slim pickings at a 4 o'clock start, mainly just a few parents, some administration, maybe some teachers supporting these young ladies. See a few more pile in after 5 o'clock, I'm sure. Ball low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, they'll have to be really patient with the pitchers from St. Vincent. They're not going to have anybody overpowering. A little bit probably slower pitching than they're used to. And sometimes that's even harder to hit than a young lady with some speed. And she's going to pop this one up on the infield. Should be a can of corn for the pitcher, and she does squeeze it for the first out. That's not, I'm sure, how Aniston wanted to start things off there. Kamari Strozier comes to the plate. Kamari is not a senior. She'll be back next year as one of the leaders of the team. Ball just inside corner. Good-looking pitch just off the plate. This ball is going to be a C&I single into left field. Overplayed. Ball comes into second, but Kamari on the overplay. Really not an error there because she never touched the ball. So it's a double for Kamari. It's going to bring Zoe Hodges to the plate. This ball is going to be lifted into right field. Could be trouble, and it is. The ball is down for a single. Kamari is going to make her turn at third. Be the first run on the board and an RBI for Zoe. Santana Green. Starting in center field for the Raiders today. Ball is hammered to right center, and this is trouble. All the way to the fence with a short hop. A lot of speed by Green, long strides. So we now have runners at second and third. That was a great at bat by this young lady. Skylar Clements on first base today, up to the plate. Skylar is a senior. She is, she come on strong toward the end of the season last year with her at bat. And she hammers this one to left field. Oh, and the young lady's unable to squeeze it. Hard hit ball. Runners were tagging, so we unable to only score but one run. That's going to be an error. But it's basically like a sacrifice almost for the runner. But Katie Johnson comes to the plate. Katie is a sophomore. Ball's outside. Clements will take second base. Second and third now. Again, early, 2-0. Bottom of the first. Big cut. Foul ball. Second week of school for Bacon County High School. Full week. A lot of schools just started back the latter part of last week, maybe Thursday, Friday. Sixth day has ended. We've already had a couple softball games and a football scrimmage. Swing and a miss, low in the zone. It's going to be strike two. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. 2 runs across. Ball low. If I hadn't mentioned it yet, it is hot. It just doesn't feel as hot as it was. Ball's grounded to the left side. It's going to be a difficult play. What a throw, just out of reach of the first baseman on the throwing error. Well, the run scored anyway. Really no harm on the error, but there was a throw error. But it would have been an infield hit. And then I don't know if you really count an error there because there was no harm, no foul, no run scored. So it was an infield hit by Katie. Hope Hobbs comes to the plate. Catcher. Ball is going to be popped up, squeezed by the first baseman for that second out. Runners at second and third. Temperature is 94, and it feels like 106. This ball is chopped down the line, just foul. Raiders looking for a run rule early. It's 15 after 3, 12 after 4, 10 after 5, I believe, unless they've changed it this year. Ball high and away. Slap down the right field line there. This ball is slapped into right field. C&I single there. 1 run scores. 2 run scores. So Olivia has a, I didn't announce her at bat, but, excuse me. I'll make sure I get the girls. Yeah. 21. That was Olivia. She had a 2 RBI single there. Brings Doodle Johnson to the plate. Southpaw. Runner at first, 2 outs. And she pops this one to the center, to the shortstop. A lot of speed, but a great defensive play by the shortstop. It's going to end the inning. Braves. That's funny. I've been watching a lot of Braves. Lady Raiders tack on 5 here in the bottom of the first. We're going to take a quick break, and I'll be back to honor some sponsors. All right, Raider Nation, we are back in the top of the second inning. St. Vincent comes to the plate. Number 17, that's Abigail Noel. St. Vincent went 3 up, 3 down, and there's a called strike 3 on that outside corner. You got to think in this kind of heat, I know that if I was an umpire, my strike zone would be a little bit more liberal. To might speed things along a little bit. Maybe that ain't the right thing to do, but it wasn't. I wouldn't blame him if that's the case. That's 3 strikeouts for Sadie Adams. Number 25, Haley Fuller, the pitcher, at the plate now. 2 balls, 1 strike. Swing and a miss. Called strike 3 again. That's the 4th strikeout for Adams. Strike a little bit low in the zone. I think it's 21. Amber Bedow. I apologize if I'm slaughtering that name. This ball was popped up just out of reach by Clement. I want to talk about all these folks, but I want to mention the new title sponsors. Swing and a miss. She strikes out the side. That's 5 total for Sadie. We're going to hang around. Johnny's going to roll some footage there, but I want to specific. Played ball here, grew up here, and raised to 2 twin boys in our system who went on to play a little college ball themselves. And Mr. Mike went on and graduated from the University of Georgia and come back to Alma and serve as a insurance man and just of all things Raider Nation for this guy. And I've known him all my life growing up. And I want to thank him for jumping on board with us. He's usually always sponsors us, just like Burt CPAs have the last couple of years, have jumped in with us during playoff times and donated a little bit to help us travel to and that sort of thing. So I appreciate them coming on full blast with us to hopefully 70 broadcasts this year. All right, here we go. Bottom of the 2nd inning. We're going to get back to the top of the lineup here. And there's a base hit to right center for A.J. Aniston Johnson. Brings up Kamari Strozier. Her last at bat, she doubled. She drops down a bunt, a little small ball here. Going to be trouble, a lot of speed. Bad throw. Ball gets away. Aniston's going to trot home for the 6th run. Kamari all the way around on the air to 3rd base. So Aniston had a single. And then Kamari had a bunt it was really an infield hit. I don't think they had a chance. So she had a hit, and then the couple base error. But we did get a run score, 6-0 with no outs. Brings Zoe Hodges to the plate, and Zoe singled her last at bat with an RBI. Zoe's going to have another potential. Oh, what a great play by the right fielder. Able to cradle the ball for the first out. It's going to bring Santana Green, who hammered. She's had the hardest hit ball of the early innings here. One hopper to the fence and just in right center. And we did score a run on that last at bat, so it was basically a sacrifice for Hodges on the fly ball. Thanks, Johnny. Green to the plate. So it's 7-0. This ball's hit hard again to the left side. Nice defensive play there for the second out. Skylar Clements. She had a sacrifice, her first at bats, and an RBI. And she hammers this one to left field, way back. One hops the fence. It's going to be a stand-up double. Once these girls get the timing on this pitching, again, slower pitching is sometimes more difficult to hit. You got to get used to it. Runner at second, 2 outs. Katie Johnson to the plate. She singled her first at bat, had an RBI. Good pitch on that inside off the plate. All of these pitches, again, her top speed is like a changeup from other pitchers in our region, and then when she really slows it down like that right there, it's difficult to adjust. Have to be patient. And there it is, a little ahead of it. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. 7-0 in the bottom of the second inning. Things moving along. I want to take a quick moment and thank Mr. Jimmy Scott for taking care of these fields like he does. It may not be exactly. I know coaches can be very meticulous and particular about their fields, but this field looks really good. The grass is coming along there in the outfield, nice and green. It takes lots of water and fertilizing and other chemicals to keep these fields looking good. I know Friday night the football field was immaculate again, and Mr. Jimmy Scott does a great job. He's our young farmer coordinator as well as ag teacher at Bacon County High School. Ball is hit hard to the third baseman. A little bit of indecisiveness, and everybody's safe. Probably should have fired on to first if she had been reminded of it was 2 outs. Probably would have ended the inning, and that was Katie. Fielder's choice is what that would be called. Again, not really an error, in my opinion. Hobbs to the plate. Hobbs, let's see. She popped out her first at bat. Runners at first and second now with 2 outs. Ball low in the dirt. I don't know how that ball didn't hit her. She didn't move, but it just went behind her, actually. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the second. 3 balls, no strikes. And that's ball 4. A little too far inside. Bases are loaded now for Olivia Screws, and she singled her last at bat and had 2 RBIs. Chance to really bust this thing open here in the second inning. And she smokes this one to center field. Maybe it's misplayed. Oh, no, she squeezes it for that 3rd out. Big out for the St. Vincent. 7-0 as we head to the top of the 3rd. We're going to take a quick break, catch our breath, and be back in just a moment. Top of the 3rd inning. Lady Raiders lead 7-0. Ball inside, I believe, there. Number 20, I believe, is Lindsay Murray. I saw her number correctly. Sadie Adams I don't know what the strikeout record is for the Lady Raiders, but she is working on something special here if she keeps it up, keeps the pace up. 5 strikeouts in 2 innings, and she's got to tag her out, but that's going to be the 6th strikeout by my count. Six out of 7 batters. Yeah, if I do my math correctly. Swing and a miss. Evens the count at 1. Strike on that inside corner. Swing and a miss. That's 5 in a row, fanned by Sadie. Ball inside, hits the young lady, number 6, and that was Ashlyn Fogarty. It's going to bring number 20, Lindsay Murray, to the plate. That's just messed up Sadie's strikeout streak. I think she can start another one right here. She has 7 out of 8 batters. Excuse me, 7 out of 9. Strike right down the pipe. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Rung her up on that inside corner. 8 strikeouts. 8 out of 10. I think 10 batters. That ain't too bad. Not too shabby. I want to stay here just a moment and talk about Coley Electric and Plumbing Supply. That's Miss Lisa Coley and her fine staff there, helping to serve Alma-Bacon County for a umpteen dozen years. And I want to encourage you to go by there for any and all of your plumbing and electrical needs. They also have a gun shop. They don't necessarily advertise, but they have multiple items in there, ammunition as well. I want to encourage you again to swing by there and shop as much local as possible to help support the people who support you, the people who support your children, whether it's an athletic event or a club event. I don't know. There can't be too many times that Miss Coley has turned down individuals when it comes to time and money and effort for this community. And she's like a lot more out there that do the same thing week in and week out all year round. There's always something going on. If it's ball, it's rec ball all the way through varsity level sports or other activities. Churches raising money for this and that, and other organizations. So, again, go by and see Miss Lisa Kohler. Thank her when you see her. Thank her for contributing to our broadcast, giving us an opportunity to broadcast as many games as possible, home games as well as those specifically the playoff games, as well as a few key regional matchups we try to get with softball and baseball and basketball. We do broadcast all 10, will be 11 games this year, including the scrimmage, and any playoff games that we can come across. But anyway, I want to thank Miss Lisa Coley and Coley Electric and Plumbing Supply for being a consistent supporter of BCTV's Red Raider Broadcasting. Doodle Johnson coming to the plate. Doodle's a junior, and she slaps a bunt here just past the pitcher, eats her up, had a lot of top spin, and just kind of ran right up her glove. But that's an infield hit for Doodle. Just tough to handle there. That's how I would score it. Runner at first quickly here. 1 pitch, 1 on. And we're back to the top of the lineup. Aniston Johnson's 1 for 1. A lot of speed on first base. Talk about an athlete. You're looking at one there at the plate. Specimen when it comes to, I mean, she could played any sport, much less softball, but she has been a star since she was young, literally head and shoulders above most, physically and athletically. Popped up. Anderson won't be happy with that. Strozier's going to come to the plate. Strike on that outside corner. Looked a little high to me, but he called it a strike. 7-0. Raiders trying to tack on, maybe trying to get, again, you're trying to get that run rule. This ball is lifted into center field. Misplayed by the center fielder. Runner is going to round second. If she had been on her horses, well, if she had thought it should have been caught. So she had to kind of tag up, otherwise she would have scored. Runners at second and third with only one out. But that's a double for Kamari, and that's their second double of the game. She's 3 for 3. Zoe Hodges comes to the plate with a single and a sacrifice. And she's capable of putting 3 on the board fast. Ball outside. Ball is shot past the second baseman. It's trouble. It's going to roll nearly to the fence. 2 runs are in. Zoe with a stand-up double. Going to be 9-0 Raiders. Trying to get to 12. 12 would be a run rule, or 15, but 12 after 4. It's 15 after 3, 12 after 4, 10 after 5. This ball is hit to the left side. It's going to be a high throw. Green is going to advance to second. Another run's going to score. It's going to be 10. So there's the first eligible run rule, but that's through 5. So Santana has I think that's going to have to go down as an error. Throwing error there. It's going to bring Skylar Clement, and she has had a sack and a double. And she smoked that last ball to the left field. A little bit more air underneath it, and it's gone. Santana's going to. It's a close. Oh, we need some help from the home plate. I think she was safe, but I think we have. It's hot out there. I think she got her leg in. There's going to be 2 outs. Skylar at the plate. No runners on base now. And she turns on another one. Just foul. I'm not sure if she's watching today, but we went off air for the last time last week on that last weather delay. Give a shout out. Maybe she'll watch it later if she's not listening. That's Stephanie Colson. She was here with us last year with Coach Poff. I want to thank them for joining us on the NFHS last week, and then maybe again this week for Game 1 or Game 2. I'm sure she'll shoot me a message to let me know. So again, I hope they're doing well. where they're at now, coaching softball and supporting the young ladies where they're at now. And we wish the best for KP and her family. All right, Skylar, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. By far the longest at bat by any player. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And if you hear that little breeze in my microphone, it's not the wind outside, it's this fan I have in my face. And she chops this one foul. Ball is hammered into left center. They had a shift on, a big shift, but the ball was able to find the grass. So Clements, that's her second hit of the game. Katie Johnson's going to come up. She has a base hit and a fielder's choice. She hammers this one again. I think this pitcher is staying inside deliberately. Again, there's a shift in that outfield. You see the right fielder is almost to the center field spot. And we have a sort of a left center fielder and then a far left fielder. If she throws it outside and she hits it down the right field line, she's going to have a stand-up in the park home run. And that was the pitch to send over there. Outside corner for strike. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. I want to thank Mr. David Hand once again, State Farm Insurance, for being this year's softball title sponsor, is the way I'll call it. I want to thank him for being a part. It's an easy decision for him. He has a daughter on the team who is a senior that pitches, plays some first base. She's getting a rest this game. Game 1 for sure. But David also puts in time and effort with the middle school team. Ball is chopped to the third baseman, but it's between her legs, unable to make the play. Shortstop's there to stop it from going into the outfield, but that's an error. But we want base runners any way we can give them, and we need Hope Hobbs here to drive a couple more runs in. It's 10-0. So again, one of the longer innings, maybe other than the bottom of the first. Bottom of the third, early here. Been playing about 45 minutes. Hottest part of the day. This ball is hammered right up the middle. 1 run's going to score. Oh, sorry, held her up. I tell you what, that ball was hit so hard to the outfield, and the young lady in center did a good job of getting it back in. Bases are loaded. And that's going to bring Olivia Screws to the plate. She popped out her last at bat, but she had a single her first with 2 RBIs. Has a chance to add to that total. We're going to get a courtesy runner here. That's number 25, Bree Harper. She's a senior pitcher.